Here's the story. I'm not sure exactly where I got the idea, but I know I was watching one of the many YouTube videos I tend to watch, and somebody had mentioned subscriptions. So maybe it was that was in the back of my mind, because earlier this week I just looked at my subscriptions to channels on Amazon Prime. And I was absolutely shocked to realize they added up to $105 a month. I was absolutely floored. I had no idea it was that much. So I began to go through the list and ask myself, what did I watch? I'm only one person. I can't possibly watch $105 worth of channels over the course of a month. And I slowly pared down. Sometimes it was hard. It's like, yes, I know you like that show, but what other show on that channel do you actually watch? And there were a couple when I looked at them and I thought, I wouldn't watch anything on this channel. Why do I have a subscription to it? So I pared it down and I got it down to $27 a month. $74 a month I saved just by doing that. So that got me going. I started to look at credit card statements and bank statements and ask myself, what am I spending every month? I mean, I'm not talking about rent, which is fixed, and I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about those things that just come off your bank account or come off your credit card every month. So let's have a look at my list. Just going to share this with you. So the first column is the item. And the second column is what I'm currently paying. And I've got some notes here about different things and the new cost per month. Now, some of these things I'm not able to do anything with because they are a part of what I do. I need them for various things. But Hedra, I figured I'm not using it at the moment. And anything I cancel, I can always go back and get again. Sounds Online, that was a big one for me. I had to think about that for a while. That's my subscription to Composer Cloud, which allows me access to all the East West orchestras and other products that allow me to compose music. But I looked at it logically and I thought, you know what? I haven't composed anything for 3 months. I decided, okay, I'm going to cancel this. I can always come back and get it again when I'm ready to use the orchestras, ready to compose, right? And there's some things I cannot really change. My BCAAs, my provincial AAA in the States, car insurance, home insurance, things like that. When I took a look at my current cell phone, which is one of these little flips, right? I got it as a basic phone, just to have basic text and calling if I was out in the car or if one of my clients needed to contact me last minute. But I don't know, it's gone worse and worse. And I used to pay about $33 a month, and I'm up to now $55 a month on average. My current bill is like $90. For what? I don't go anywhere. I go out in the car once in a while, but I don't even use it when I'm in the car. So I've got to get rid of it. I've got my new Google Pixel, as some of you may know. And so I did some investigation with the help of ChatGPT, read up on various different recommendations. I'm going to get a new telephone number from TextNow. I'm going to install WhatsApp, and I'm going to get a VPN for when I'm traveling. All of that is going to cost me $2.70 a month instead of, on average, $55 a month. Big difference. Then I took a look at my websites. I've got one for the teaching I used to do, but I'm no longer accepting students. I have a small studio of students, and I'm, semi-retired from that. Why am I paying all this money to maintain a website? So what I basically did was downsize it, and I will just maintain the basics. I also had a music website, which I was spending a lot of money for, and I downgraded it a little bit so I save a few dollars a month. DoorDash, I don't know why. I bought a year subscription last year and it's going to be up in March. And I'm like, no. First of all, I shouldn't be using DoorDash, except in the case of an emergency. And I shouldn't be paying this $8 a month or $96 a year to have food delivered to me. It's better if I walk to the store or get it delivered through online shopping and make my own meals. It's ridiculous how much it costs to order in, and I know I've wasted money on that. Then I had some things to consider in terms of my Etsy store, which I spent a lot of time developing. I've had some problems with it this month with my print provider being out of stock, so I lost several sales, which was very frustrating to me after I spent so much time building it up. And I spend a lot of money on advertising, and I'm a bestseller. I've got 13 rave reviews. It's just been very disheartening. So looking at that, I just figure, okay, I've got to cut all this back. I put a lot of time and money into it, and I don't think I'm really breaking even. So that's going to save a lot of money. I'm a bit of a gamer, and there are some things that I have to maintain because I'm in charge of something that a lot of people are involved in. So that does require some money from me. I took a look at that and I thought maybe I could cut $18 maybe from that over the next week or two. So I'll have to see what I can do about that. Here are all the channels I had, adding up to $105.39. And you can see that I've cut it down to 27, and there's a possibility I could get rid of about $17 more, which would bring it down to $10 a month, which I think is much more reasonable. So my current expenditure every month with all of the things that I had listed is over $1,000. I've cut back $575 a month, leading to a savings of $455 a month, or, as a thumbnail says, $5,500 a year. A year! So one of the things I want to say about this, it's really about mindfulness, right? Because for the last 2 years, I have been living rather unconsciously. I was forced to move to a little town some distance away from my sisters, and it's a pretty little town that I don't know. After I got here, I just went into a well of darkness. And about a month ago, just before I started this channel, I kind of woke up. Because I said to myself, I have a choice here. I can continue to live the way that I've been living. I can continue not to look after myself. I can continue not to take care of the place that I live. Or I can decide to make a change. How do I want to spend the rest of my life? And in order to kind of prompt that change that I wanted to make, I spent probably about a week going over different possible travel plans and different ways that I could travel and do something that I wanted to do. And I came up with probably 16 or 18 itineraries till I ended up with the one that I have, traveling from Seattle to Chicago, Chicago to Sacramento, Sacramento to Santa Barbara, and back to Seattle in this kind of diamond shape. At the beginning of March when it's still a little wintry because I wanted to see the mountains in winter. That was the first thing that kind of came to my mind when I said, well, where do you want to travel? Europe is a little too far right now. And something in me said, I want to see the mountains in winter. So I booked the trip. I was going out on a limb, right? Booking that trip. But it was the beginning. And I've tried since then, step by step, to do the things that need to be done in order to prepare for that trip. Going through this budget is one of those things. Getting active and mobile is another one of those things. Eating healthier. Buying a smartphone and figuring out what to do with the things that I talked about. A step by step, preparing myself for a new adventure. So I don't want the year of my 70th to be one where I'm just sinking into the ground, alive but not alive. So, as I said, it goes back to mindfulness. I know I still have a lot of work to do. I have to declutter. I have things to go through. But I know that if I just stay committed and deliberately do things as I can, day by day, things will improve, things will get brighter, and one day I'll be sitting on a train talking to you with scenery flashing by. And that day is not too far off. About 2 months away now. One of the things that occurred to me when I was going through this process of looking at how much I spent was that I have money coming in every month. I mean, I can't really add to it. And I have to be careful with the savings that I have. So I thought, well, I'm really lucky because for the first time in my life, I have sort of a guaranteed income called a pension. And a lot of people don't have that. They have to work for it. So how am I spending that money? And am I spending it wisely? That's what led to working through it over the course of a day, scratching my head, but looking at everything and realizing, wow, if I hadn't have done this, how much? Just imagine if I was spending $1,000 a month, practically half of it was unnecessary. That'd be $12,000 a year I was spending, 5,500 of which was wasted. That's my thought for today. I hope you found it helpful. Let us know in the comments if you did the same kind of exercise and found anything that you could save. And I just want to add one thing here, that nothing I say in any of my videos is meant to be a judgment of myself or anyone else. Life is a process. We have our ups and downs. Sometimes problems can seem and maybe are insurmountable, but we do our best. And one of the things that is very meaningful to me is that as I've been posting things and as people have commented, I have the sense that we're growing into a community of people who resonate with the same ideas or have the same concerns And I think that's a really beautiful thing. So thank you for being there and thank you for watching. Talk soon.